Okay. I'm like, who's talking? The recording's in progress. Welcome to those who are online. And I believe the sheriff's chaplain is here. If you would like to come up and open us in prayer, please. The chaplains will be available afterwards for spiritual and emotional support, along with the other services we'll be providing tonight.
You are blessed to have such a great community who care for each other, who are there for each other. And I want you to know that God is for you too. He's here watching over you, and He is helping you, and He will give you strength. Shall we bow our heads for a word of prayer? Our gracious and loving Heavenly Father, we invite your presence into this meeting this evening. May we this evening find clarity for the future. May we find hope and push forward together that all things will work well for each person here. We thank you for an opportunity to come and learn and to grow together. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen. Yes, amen. Okay, so we have the, I wanted to first talk just briefly about the Spokane County Long-Term Recovery Group. It's important that you know what's going to be happening after this week. So as we're standing that up, if you are part of the Spokane County Long-Term Recovery Group, go ahead and come forward. I know Molly from Innovia is here. If you want to go ahead and come up here. And Jerry Johnson is, I think, out managing forms. You know who she is with Reimagine Medical Lake. We have Colton with Avista. Any other board members from the long-term recovery group? Part of us are in Elk tonight, and part of us are here. So the Spokane County Long-Term Recovery Group is being stood up. We're forming our 501c3 right now. Why is that important? It's important because it allows us to receive and give funding without being a government entity. We can match up government funding, grant funding, and we can also coordinate with Innovia, Reimagine Medical Lake, others who are coming on, so we can legitimize the work. We can be transparent in what's happening. We keep a record of all the donations. We keep a record of everyone who receives help, and that is open to the public. So that's the reason for it. It's an established model, and it's worked in other communities in Washington and throughout the nation. So I've been elected the president of that. Karen Skook from the Elk area is the executive director. Another person from Elk is Dick Zeinhardt, and he is the vice chair of that group. And then we have Chandra Fox from Spokane County Emergency Management. But I wanted you to hear from Molly. She can talk to you directly about what happened with Innovia and some of that funding, and dispel any concerns that you might have. And then also hear from Colton with the Avista, and I'm going to let him go ahead and talk right long-term recovery, and then go right into the tree removal, which I know many of you are here to learn about tonight. So Molly, there's your magic box.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks. I'm glad to have this opportunity to be here to talk a little bit more about the role of the long-term recovery group and what that looks like for both throughout the county. So for both Medical Lake and the Elk community. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Innovia Foundation, a little bit of background. We're the community foundation for Eastern Washington and North Idaho. Some folks may recognize us by our oops,
Maybe just put your mic a little closer.
better. Okay. Recognize us by our earlier name of Inland Northwest Community Foundation, but we are a nonprofit philanthropic organization. We exist to support communities and invest in vibrancy and sustainability of local communities. So we do that through grants and investments. When the fires first broke out, we had several donors come to us and said, you know, we want to help, and can Innovia stand up a fund and assure us that all the dollars that are donated will go directly to fire recovery. It's a role that we have played before in other community disasters. And so we stood up and said, yes, we will do that with the guarantee that all dollars will go out in that way. And the way we do that, as Mayor Cooper had mentioned, is in partnership with the long-term recovery group. So while that group has been getting pulled together, we have been getting some grants out to the local nonprofit organizations that are able to be on the ground, helping folks with needs, like whether it's gas cards, vouchers for laundromats, food issues, things like that. So really just kind of those immediate needs. As time goes on with the long-term recovery group and in partnership with case managers that are going to be brought online through Salvation Army in Spokane County, each fire impacted family will have a connection with a case manager assigned to them. They will have the opportunity to work with that case manager to talk about, you know, what their needs are, what is their recovery plan, and that case manager really is your advocate, your single point of contact to then connect with the long-term recovery group, and also other resources that are available to help meet whatever needs that you have on the road to recovery. So that's kind of how the process will work in the longer term. Again, I think Mayor mentioned that there's representatives from the communities of Elk and the communities of Medical Lake, so they can kind of speak as one voice, and then also be able to respond to individual community needs as well through local community meetings. So
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. All of us will be available afterwards for, you know, specific questions. One thing I would just add about that, there are intake forms that we have tonight. If you haven't filled that out, we ask you to fill that out, even if you're insured. So if you're either insured, underinsured, or not insured, that's what the form asks. The reason that we need to gather that is we're trying to make sure that we've found everybody who is not insured or underinsured. So 1.25 million came out, and that's going to cover for case managers, and then testing that's happening for non-insured people right now. But then there was 2.9 million that was just released by the Department of Commerce for debris management. So the governor did listen and understands the importance of getting that debris cleaned up. But we have to know who's not insured. We can't spend any money until we have taken care of the non-insured. So be sure, I mean, almost everybody is underinsured. So I don't know how that will play out, but keep your receipts and let's continue to work together, stay in touch with us. As far as the long-term recovery group, soon we'll have a clearinghouse website and some other things. So if you're not, there's a text message system out there that will be doing push notices, and we can let you know when that stood up. So within the next 10 days or so, we should have more information, but wanted you to give you that update. This is Colton Duckin from Avista. Did I say your last name right?
You did.
I'll let him chat with you about his role on the board, and then also Avista's tree removal, which is why everyone's here, really.
Thanks,
Right,
Terry.
here's your special dot.
Oh, my God. Can everyone hear me okay? Good. Thanks, Terry, for having me here. As the mayor said, I am on the long-term recovery group board. Right up here.
I
Okay.
know, it's so fun.
I was asked to serve on the long-term recovery group board because of Avista's role in this fire since day one, from getting the power back on now to you know, just trying to be a good community partner and make sure we're working with y'all in the recovery process, whether that's through tree removal or with the Avista Foundation, donating funds to Novia, which we've already done a significant amount in that realm. So I look forward to. Can everyone hear me good? Yeah. Sorry about that. So bottom line is Avista's here, has been here from the beginning of the fire, and we're going to continue to be here moving forward to help. And that's whether through tree removal or through the Avista Foundation and the funds we've given to Anovia. Regarding the tree removal, so since the fire has been pretty much put out, Avista has gone through and taken a look at trees, hazard trees that were near our lines and within the right of way and within our easement, and had taken preventative measures to make sure those trees were not gonna be a hazard moving forward or a danger to our lines moving forward, okay? The biggest thing we need right now, and I'm glad everyone's here for this tonight, is now that we've taken care of those hazard trees near the lines, we need permission from all the homeowners. So all the affected property owners to give us permission to deal with the trees that the vegetation that we removed near our power lines. So once we get that, we're already in the process of getting a contractor. This contractor is going to have a large grinder. You have to forgive me, I don't have a lot of technical terms, I'm not an arborist. We do have an arborist here in the back, who's with me tonight, and he can answer a lot of, oh, there he is, right there. You mind standing up real quick? So this is our arborist, and so he'll be able to answer technical questions regarding the entire plan, but the gist of it is, once we get those forms signed from all y'all, we'll be able to get our contractor out here, and whoever gives us approval to take care of those trees, we will be using that grinder to take care of them. I want to make clear that if you don't want us to do anything with your trees, if you want to use them for your own use, whatever you'd like to do, it's entirely up to you. But if you would like our assistance in getting those removed, we're definitely here for that. So.
You got a way to mark that, like a designation for people that aren't here? Put an X on the road or something, because I know several people that don't want the retreat station.
Okay. Do we have a plan for that?
Did he say, didn't you mail forms to everybody?
Yeah, we did mail forms to every property owner that was affected. We mailed forms to. But is your question if they didn't get, if they don't want?
Yeah, I mean, if they don't have a house and didn't get married, I guess they can make a parking in their driveway.
No, they can come to City Hall. Can I chat just for a second? So the administrative process, if you did not get it in the mail, so right now, if your house is burned, the post office has your mail. Go to your local closest post office, they have your mail under general delivery, under your address, and they're holding that for you. You can also file for, to have your mail forwarded to where you are. If you're staying on your property, know that the post office has your mail. The other thing is, so City Hall, we will have the Avista form. We have some out here now. Sign it before you leave tonight. And then there's also, that lets Avista on your property, and there's another list, and that says you're releasing liability and you want other people to come on your property. So we have Team Rubicon here. They're landing on Friday. They're a team that comes in, there's like 30, and they will be doing felling, limbing, chipping, that kind of after Avista comes in. And so, anyway, fill out both the Avista form and get your name on the list, and then we will contact you. And if someone's not here, I see your hand just a second. If someone's not here, send them to City Hall in Medical Lake, and we'll have the form there. You can also contact Avista, but I really need your name to sign the Avista form and to sign the other, to get on the other list. Those two things to sign, and then you should be good to go. Two questions.
So as far as that question was, I don't believe any of the tree fallers are gonna go on anybody's property unless we have a form to go on your property. So
Correct.
if you don't want your trees done and you do not fill out the form, we will not step on your property.
Correct. Did everyone hear that? So if you don't want anyone on your property, don't do anything. If you want help with the trees, you have to sign the form. No one's going to come on your property unless they've signed a release. You've signed a release. Yes, sir.
Hey, my name's Mike. I live off of Third Lake, and Avista came in and took down a lot of our houses. I mean, not houses, but the power lines and the trees around there. And so they're just laying. I mean, they're not on the road or anything, so I appreciate that. But at the same time, I have all these burnt trees that I didn't cut down. Is Avista gonna clean that up?
So all of these individual questions about like my specific lot and what's happening there is best answered individually afterwards so that we can get through this. And Vista has their role, and then we have all these other volunteers. We have loggers, haulers, Team Rubicon. So we'll get to that, but your specific, when it's, here's my situation, that'd be best.
That's a lot of us, actually. Like, a lot of us, when they're replacing lines, that's actually a lot of us that had trees cut down. So I think it's actually a good question to
Thank you.
address to the group.
So
That is a yes.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't know if we wanted to get into that whole
Well, I mean, I.
bigger pieces of properties thing.
Um,
I driveway.
Trees are laid down and they're not organized. It looks like chaos. So Avista is stepping forward and bringing these grinders in that will eat a whole tree. So those will be gone. We just need your permission.
Okay, so my next question is gonna be, how do I get a hold of Vista to try to get power from the, and I'm not just in Vista. Because they already got new power poles in and wires, but how do I get that power?
So you need a service line.
Yeah, because my meter is like, right,
That is a question for Colton, but
Happy to help.
But we-
Talk to me afterwards.
if you guys want to write my phone number, call me. I'm here for a few weeks. I'm gonna come to your house and we'll talk about it. Okay?
I'll come in.
My phone number. Avista line. 208-217-7314.
We'll have that for you out there also.
208-217-7314. Tom Houck, Houck, and I'm here to help.
We had one question back here, one hand here.
Like that fiber is the longer, because I'm doing a bunch of those small logging jobs in town. So if the homeowner, can they send a contract to the logger, the haul it to the mill and then pile the brush out of your guys' right away?
What was the question? Would you repeat the question so everybody can hear it?
He's asking if little brush piles can be taken away. We haven't covered that yet. We're getting big grinders and big equipment, and this is a big deal for us to bring, for Avista to bring this big equipment in. So these small piles that can be just thrown in a pickup or picked up.
I guess that wasn't my question. I was saying, if I utilize the fiber on the piece of ground, you guys already dealt with timber, and take it to the mill on our sale ticket, would we be in trouble if we got the pile or the brush out of you guys right away and kind of signed off?
No, I mean,
Instead of-
guys, this is still America. And you guys are property owners,
Your trees?
all right? So bless all of you.
You guys bring a trailer to chip with you, pull the chip out, or you just leave it on the property?
All of that fiber is gonna be ground and taken away. Yeah, it's a neat thing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. I think this lady had a quick question.
I talked to this representative today about the power. You have to hire an electrician to put in the temporary.
Absolutely.
A lot, it has to be, all he told me was 15 feet away from the main pole. It's not free for you.
We have a lot of professionals that are pretty good at what they do, and we're definitely, if there's individual cases, we're happy to work with you on an individual basis to get you what you need, so. And again, we're gonna be here afterwards, happy to answer questions, and talk about your specific cases, so.
Thank you so much. And Avista really has gone above and beyond. And so thank you. Like he said, we'll be here afterwards. So there is a team of gentlemen, I think maybe a woman or two, but I think they're all guys, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, there's a table out there, and that is specifically for tree removal. It's so if you want to fill out that form, get on that list. But they're also working with some loggers and haulers, and like I said, Team Rubicons. When you talk about this is going to take out their stuff, but then the Team Rubicon will also have a chipper. And so you have brush, and as they limb and do that kind of thing, they will go ahead and chip that and spread it on your lot. They're not going to remove that. So just know if you ask them to do that, that's what it's going to look like. Just wanted to make that clarification. Locally, each city or each area is setting up a local team to respond to you. So Molly talked about those donations. She also talked about case managers. Case managers, I believe that contract was signed by the county hopefully today, and that'll be rolling out here quickly. And you'll be getting notice about how to contact them. But locally, we have Jerry Johnson with Reimagine Medical Lake. Her team is going to be addressing unmet needs. You can make donations to Innovia for both fires. If you want it to be Medical Lake specific, you can make that through Reimagine Medical Lake. They have a specific fund and a team that's overseeing that. Jerry Johnson's also sitting on the long-term recovery board and will be reporting to the board about donations and what comes in and goes out. Kay Peterson is also here tonight. She's with Silver Lake Bible Camp. And she is going to be managing our communications and volunteer groups. So we need more volunteer groups than just the unmet needs and communications. And then again, for the tree removal, debris management, and then moving on into construction management, we have Ron Burris is heading up that committee. We have other committees, and so if you have those needs, we'll be out here and you can talk to Kay or Jerry about, I think we need a committee for this or that. And we're going to find out exactly what the needs are going forward and stand those up. One of them being maybe spiritual and emotional support. And we're working with the sheriff's office on that, but think of other things. What other things do we need to help manage? We can point you to the right case manager and get you the help you need. We have builders available, as you saw out here. There's the long-term recovery intake form. Please sign that so we can decide who hasn't filled them out. We've had a lot coming in, and as soon as we can take care of those uninsured people, we can move on to underinsured people. We have a lot of money and we can maybe help you. So we'll have staff available afterwards to answer questions. And then also, if you want to volunteer, you came here to be a helper, there's a volunteer sign up sheet. And so you don't have to wait to talk to anyone, just fill it out and hand it to myself or Jerry or Kay. So, yes, sir.
Yeah, this isn't really a question for you, but I guess it's more for the greater group here. Is, you know, coming from somebody, I have acreage, I'm in ground zero. All the trees need to come out, and I'm surrounded by so many families and by the camp where trees need to come out. And trying to navigate through the paperwork with DNR, or even actually getting them to call you back so they can harvest this while it's still good, is getting real tough. And it seems like it's like an individual property owner by individual property owner process. I feel like there's got to be a better way where we can come together as a community to say, hey,
Yes.
Disaster affected, we got to get this paperwork done, because if we don't put these trees down in a month, then
Correct.
it's not gonna be good, and it's gonna cost the property.
Correct.
owners.
And that's exactly what this tonight is about. That team, they have loggers and haulers, and we have a form for those logs that are going to Boise Cascade. We're working with Turley Logging for property that has more than 2 acres. And so all of that is being coordinated tonight.
Yeah, so I trust them, and it really comes back to the individual property owners working with DNR versus like as a community. They're right, the loggers, Boise Cascade, everyone's.
If you want to manage your own stuff and you want to work with DNR and you're going to cut and haul and get rid of your own and take it to the mill, that'll be on you. Absolutely. So, but come and talk to me afterwards so I can maybe better understand your situation. I'm happy to try to help.
It's not, by the way, I don't mean to imply on you on this, but
It's a natural
government-
disaster.
it's a government
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
He's looking for a mainstream solution.
I totally understand. And that's what these meetings are about.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, it's a natural disaster. We've never been through it before, but we have some answers. I wish that you would afterwards, please talk to Mr. Burris directly and see what other information he may have for you. And then I'm happy to help with that.
So for the group, anybody that has over 2 acres of ground that have to get, they're wanting to get a lot of them. Loggers like Tom Curley, that is part of their job. He will help do the permitting for them. Is that for you, Tom? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, but he does the permitting for you. He is used to working with them. He knows how to do it.
And Tom, you're here tonight, correct? Is Mr. Turley here?
Yes.
Yes, and so if he's going to log your property, he'll get the permit. So again, I think we have the answer for you here tonight. Let's make sure that you've talked to everybody, and anybody else.
You do have another logger also tonight.
Okay,
Rick Elwood, and he's back in the table.
very good. So,
Repeat that, because no one on.
oh, I'm sorry, the people online, he was, Mr. Burris, Ron Burris, who is heading up this tree removal, he was saying that if you have more than 2 acres, you can, talk to Turley, Logging. He is happy to get that permit for you. You'll sign a release with him, and whatever he needs to have to get that to the mill for you. And so, there is somebody here to help you with the process. Was there something else that? So. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Matt. Mayor, I appreciate you. My next question is, I don't know about you all, but I'm having a hard time even getting an asbestos check. I call every single day and I can't even get that done. And I'm about to the point where I'm gonna just clean it up myself and put it in a pile until that time comes. Is that all right? I've already had Samaritans first come in and sit through my
Right.
stuff.
So the question was, if I'm having trouble getting an asbestos test, is it okay just to pile it up myself and move on? I wouldn't recommend that. The reason being that there's a process. I don't know, Sunny, if you have something more you want to add to that, but, because the going forward part of rebuilding will require some proof of how you managed your debris, I wouldn't recommend that. So if you're having trouble getting an asbestos test, let me know, let's talk about that afterwards and see what we can do. When I talked to the state, they said they had a list of 24 testers in the region, but there's only 2 labs. But a lot of folks are sending those tests out to out-of-state labs and getting those back faster. So,
I'm not dissing you or anything, but.
no, I appreciate the question. It's true.
All the resources that we got from fire departments, things like that, from even out of state. And so there's first, coming out of state. Why can't we get people coming out of state to help us get this asbestos certificate?
Sure.
There.
Go ahead. Yes, and so if you have asbestos questions, we have Jerry or Gary? Jerry Bozarth here. He is on the long-term recovery. He is also with Spokane County Emergency Management. He's been doing this a long time. He's worked with other fires. He can probably help you with that. He'll be available afterward.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
When we were evacuated, we were taken to SFCC. And when the Red Cross closed from SFCC, there wasn't anything or even a hotline number how to get back to medical aid and where to stay. So for the absolute homeless, we are falling through the cracks.
Okay, I have help for you, and I need you to help me by meeting me directly afterwards to fill out that intake form, and we have immediate assistance for you if you're still needing help. So I am sorry that happened.
Well, and the Clean Air Act said not to go back out to the property. I know that it made me very sick. I'm just now barely recovering from it.
Okay,
And in the meantime, somebody towed off all of our vehicles.
so as I said, let's all I can do is help you with some resources right now, but I'll talk to you about your individual situation afterwards and try to direct you to some long-term resources.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think somebody asked about DNR already. has DNR already completely washed their hands of this incident? And if so, was the money that was allocated for DNR and the prevention portion of the incident, was that spent already, or was that much still there?
So I can't speak for what DNR, so the question was, has DNR come through and already washed their hands of the entire situation, and is the money that was allocated for DNR to spend on this been spent? So one, I don't know, what DNR has spent their money on. They're a state agency, they don't report to us, so you can check with them. But DNR is still on site. They're helping with all of the trees that they're removing. They have their own, state land that they're cleaning up. Tens of thousands of trees burned. So they're here, working today and every day until they get that done. They were in Waterfront Park today. And so they're here. And, as far as the private property owners, I'm not exactly sure with that.
I think some of the frustrations in the room are from the lack of representation from some of these agencies like DNR, the planning section of the county. You know, we have some of the folks in the county here, but it's been up about 2 or 3 different meetings already.
Yep.
We haven't had those.
So we had Spokane County Planning was here at the last meeting, I believe. So I invited and they were here, they presented, and then they also had forms that were here to answer questions. So if you missed that, I apologize, but they were here. What you will see going forward is, was it the very last meeting that they were here planning? Yes.
Building.
And so, and they did speak to their process. Monty, who works in their permitting department, was here and he presented from the stage. So, but what you will see going forward, and I hope you'll keep coming to the meetings as long as you have questions, is that we've talked about asbestos testing, debris removal, the problem with the trees, building, permitting, and building, you know, what happens after that. So we will continue to cycle that back around. So if you remember, the trees and debris removal were the first meeting. We were talking about how to get rid of your waste, and the waste management people were there. We've tried to solve that now by having this team of tree removal. We felt that if we get the trees out first, then the debris, you know, they give time for the testing to come back, and then the tree removal could happen before the debris removal happened. And that just seemed to be the consensus of the folks that we were working with. So we will continue to cycle that back around, bring you updates. And so we have a team of people who are here for the tree removal focus, but we're here to answer questions about all of those things. Yes, there is the energy code, in case you hadn't heard, that you have an extension now to get your permit until March 15th. So before it was going to be October 29th, which put everyone in a panic on how am I going to get my permit and my engineered plans approved in time to beat this new energy code. So that's been extended to March 15th.
So I've heard that the permits for rebuild right now are between $4,000 and $5,000. Is that correct?
So it depends on where you're getting your permit done. If it's in the city of Medical Lake, I could let our planner speak to that more directly. Last time they presented an average home of, was it 1,400? 1,500 square feet, and 4,000. And it was about $4,000. Typically, if you're building a new house without any of that, it's going to be about 23,000. And so it's steeply discounted. And Spokane County did not have an estimate, but they're working on that. But you can contact their department. They promised to turn those permits around in 5 days, and that they're giving priority at the county if it's a replacement home for that's, you know, been burned or damaged, that those permits go to the front of the line, and they promise to turn those around in about 5 to 7 days.
Okay, so my last question on that, it was in the newspaper today that there's a company, and I'm not gonna say them, that are accused of starting that fire. And so all of us that lost our house, now we're responsible to pay for
I
that?
can't speak to the cause of the fire because it's still under investigation, and I don't know. I couldn't speak to that, so, yes,
You guys are recording these meetings, is that correct?
yes.
And are the previous meetings available on the website still? Or are they being deleted after a period of time?
They're not being deleted, they're still available, and I think they're on the website or can be obtained by request. I'll ask.
They're all on the website. The first one was not recorded. The others are on the website.
Okay, so the first one was not recorded, then we started recording after that, and they are on the City of Medical Lake website. Once we get that, kind of clearinghouse website set up for both fires, we'll migrate all of that over there, so. Yes,
Are there any research for large tree removal that is less than 2 acres and do not interfere with the visitor lines?
so the question is there help for tree removal for property less than 2 acres, large trees, and I didn't catch the last part.
That don't affect the vistas lines? Are we just on our own to go and find somebody to take them out?
I don't really understand the question.
So if they fall, they're not gonna fall into the vistas lines, so they're not marked to be removed, although they're burned up.
So there's a difference between the trees that Avista is identifying, and then Team Rubicon will be able to take down other trees. Yes.
Clarify that. On an acre. Okay. Burn. How do we know if something comes down with the on all of that? Or do we have to identify the trees that we come down? There's 5 acres that burn, and I don't know where to start.
And Ron, you might want to come up if the questions are going to continue, but we really could break and have your individual questions answered probably a little more readily, but it may apply to others. So Ron Burris is heading up the tree removal, debris removal, and then we'll also be segueing into the construction. And he will be putting those volunteer groups together. So Ron, he lives in Medical Lake, R&R Construction, and he has a heart for this. He's volunteering. Everybody that you've met tonight is volunteering, except for this, so they get paid. But anyway, Ron.
Okay, so to answer your questions, the homeowners that have 2 acres or less.
Gotta hold it really close.
Closer?
There we go.
So the homeowners that have 2 acres or less. Any trees that Avista has marked and has either cut down or still has marked for removal, they will take those down and they will take care of the disposal for them. The rest of the trees, we are working to try to get some arborists, foresters, people from DNR that can come through and mark the trees as they're gonna live or they're gonna die. I'm not an arborist. I don't know how to do that. So we are working with that. If anybody out here in the crowd, if you know of an arborist, if you know of people that can do this, please get a hold of us so that we can meet with them. We have Team Rubicon coming in. They will go through, and if you have signed your release forms to allow them on your property, they will cut down the trees. If the trees are big enough, we will cut them into saw log length. We will get them to the curb. And we have some loggers who have volunteered to bring in self-load trucks, pick them up and haul them away. The remainder of the trees will either be chipped and spread on site, or if there's too much for the individual property, we are tentatively looking at having some staging areas where we can haul stuff to, and we will get grinders or chippers in at a later date and remove that material. So we are trying to do this at a free or very low cost. We have had donations from businesses that have been more than willing to help us. And so I hope that kind of clears up what we are trying to do with the tree removal.
Still have to mark the trees that are
Yes, we would like somebody to mark them.
What happened? Did you repeat the question? What happens? to-
Okay, so the question is, what happens to the stumps that's left? To tell you the truth, we haven't even discussed that yet. We're trying to get the trees down first. We will probably be in contact with some of the local arborist companies that have stump grinders and see if we can get them to donate time and materials to start grinding some of these out. Anybody that has property that your house is burned completely down and you are going to rebuild, and your foundation, if you have a house with a foundation, it has to be removed. Your construction company, when they're there, will have big excavators. They can dig those stumps out. They can be taken to Graham Road for disposal.
My name is Rachel. So Jamie from DNR contacted me Tuesday, and they will be at the Cheney Fire Station on Presley Road Sunday from 2 to 4 with DNR to answer anyone's personal questions about reforestation. They will you can sign up there for them to come to your property.
Maybe we'll try to.
Perfect. Can you come see me after,
2 to 4.
can you come see me after the meeting so I can get that contact
Yeah.
information, please?
Well, that's,
I'll let you speak. a second.
So you've got some
questions on how we do things, and it would be good. Yeah, thank you.
Say again?
So we'll get that information. We can do that as a push notification. We can do that as a push notice. So again, there's a text message number. You can just put recovery to that number. And then we'll get, please talk to me afterwards and I'll get that information. We'll coordinate with DNR, because we really need them here. Doesn't help us if they're in Cheney. So, okay. Also I have CJ here from Team Rubicon. She can speak for herself about what they do and don't do. And I know she's been coordinating, hopefully with Ron, so that we can talk about what's a log, what are we gonna chip, whatever, but, they have a fantastic team. They have 30 people that'll be staged up. We need to give a big hand of thanks actually to Silver Lake Camp, because they're gonna house them, let them use the kitchen, showers, and all of that. So that will be the staging area. Silver Lake Camp has been a fantastic partner. So here's CJ, and let's learn about trees more.
So I wasn't recognizable because I'm not in my red sweatshirt, so I apologize for being disruptive and sort of jumping up and down, but I'm pretty pushy, so I just want to give you an opinion that I have about what Team Rubicon does. As I think I said the last time I was here, we cut our teeth in Malden. We've been back to Malden 4 or 5 times. This won't be the only time we're here. When you have trouble in the spring, we'll be back. You have trouble in the summer, we'll be back. We're based here, you're on home. And I want to say that Team Rubicon is big, which means it's clumsy. I mean, you've had the guys here from the Veterans Community Response for a long time, because there's just a couple of them. But I couldn't get the sign up out until this Monday. For this Friday when we're here. Took me till Monday to get all the damn paperwork, excuse me, straightened up to get them to say, yeah, okay, you can go. I had, and you should know this, 66 people sign up for this operation in less than 24 hours. 66 people understand that this is the worst time in your life and have volunteered their time for this next week. So we will be here 7 days and I expect us to have 40 people, which should make a difference. Costco is sending volunteers to work with us. So just so you know, you're really cared about, because I'm sure it doesn't always feel like that, but you're really cared about. And we intend to be here and be back. When we worked in Malden, we took the trees to the ground. We didn't leave them stumps, and we will certainly attempt to do that here. I will have to work with Ron on how long we're leaving logs and moving logs, because typically we chip the limbs and cut things into firewood length and stack them for you, so that's right there and ready to go. And people were concerned last time about what do you do with that? And you put a note up at the VA and you say free firewood, and the veterans will make that disappear in no time. They will be so happy to come and get free firewood that that's how that has gone in other places where we've been.
Do you have any idea how you're going to prioritize who you help first?
We do site surveys, so a big part of our team will be here Friday, looking around and kind of looking at the requests and going from there. But I expect us, I mean, that's a pretty good sized team for us. That's twice what we ever had in Malden. And that's because of you guys and because people really cared. So I'm expecting us to be able to do a decent amount of work. And then we have to get to help, so.
Yeah.
Paperwork.
Yeah.
Thank you. Questions, I'll be here afterwards. Happy to chat with anybody. Happy to be here.
So she's happy to chat with anyone afterward, and then be sure you get your name on that list, because that's that volunteer group, that's them. And so be sure, because that's who they'll be contacting. They'll come and look at your property. And so I think that kind of wraps us up so that we can get started on filling out the forms. And if you're online and you need to do all of that, we'll have those at City Hall. There's one other thing, the local Reimagine Medical Lake does have some Walker's Furniture coupons that are available, so you can check with Jerry Johnson, but she'll be out here helping with those intake forms. Be sure you fill those out, and then any unmet needs, talk with Jerry. And then also, if you are uninsured, please come and talk to me, especially if you haven't signed anything with us yet. So thank you all for coming. We appreciate you, and you can then go to your respective tables. Oh, I'm sorry. One other thing. Oh, I'm sorry, I did forget something.
If anyone's from Evergreen Road, Hallett, and Evergreen.
Is there anybody here from Evergreen and Hallett, Evergreen Road and Hallett area? Okay.
Can you guys come see
Talk
me?
to this gentleman, he's with the Extreme Team. I forgot who, I didn't have him on my list. Tell him what you do. You're a TV guy.
So the Extreme Team is coming here for a couple of days. We're bringing light, heavy equipment to move all the logs that hopefully Team Rubicon and Veterans Community Response Travis are gonna be cutting. And we have to stay local. We can't road our tractors all over the place. So we are going to be, again, in Hallett, Evergreen area. And we're gonna make sure those logs and debris get moved out to the street and try and take care of dead shrubs and things like that. One of my sponsors from Rising Credit Union is gonna send 20 people with me for a couple of days. And we're gonna do what we can for that area. It's a very small part of a very big problem. So good luck, everybody. Yeah.
So there are release forms also for the
Yes.
Extreme Team, so we have those.
Nice.
At Crazy Carl's?
Oh my goodness, you know how long ago that
That's a long time.
That was
Long-
26.
when we sent
Yeah.
this card.
That was 24 years
I
ago.
just remember I
Oh,
I told you, I spent
Yeah,
your
I tried
talking about. What do you